This is a topic that deals with any type of situation where you get into a legal dispute and you can't really resolve it between you and the other party. You're going back and forth and you're trying to negotiate, you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to come to terms so that you guys can settle it and just go your separate ways. But unfortunately, you can't get there. And as a result, the other party files a lawsuit. Now, I think that this is an important topic because that lawsuit isn't something that they file fully expecting to go to trial. You know, all the stuff you see on TV where there's a trial and the lawyers are getting all those boxes that they wheel in, that stupid little wheelie thing that they have. That's almost certainly not going to happen in 99% of business disputes and lawsuits that are filed. The reason the lawsuit is filed is to leverage the settlement of the other party. Once the lawsuit's filed, and there's filing fees that the other party paid, and there starts to be a clock ticking on when you have to respond, and then the fact that you have to have a lawyer, you have to hire them and engage them, pay them a retainer to defend yourself, all of that, once people get into that situation and they start talking to lawyers and realize that these costs are going to add up and add up and add up, and the time and the effort and how you're going to be in a limbo until you figure this out, all of that adds up and just sort of piles on to basically force you guys to settle, because you don't want to go through with that. Nobody does. Even the party that filed the lawsuit doesn't want to go through with that, but they filed the lawsuit as a last-ditch tactic, and kind of a sketchy one, to force your settlement. And so the purpose of this video is really to drive home the point of anytime you get into a dispute, a legal dispute, it is best to settle it amongst the parties as soon as you can. That doesn't mean to totally acquiesce and like just take a total hit and not get anything out of it. If, you know, at the end of the day, it's a totally unreasonable proposition that the other party's offering, then maybe you do need to get wrapped up into that legal process and maybe then have to lean on the fact that they don't either want to go through all the cost, expense, and time of a lawsuit, and hopefully it'll also motivate them to settle. But for the most part, what I tell clients is, if you get into a legal dispute, you need to think about two positions. Your best case scenario, the ideal outcome of this dispute or disagreement, and then the worst case scenario that you're willing to accept. Because chances are you're going to land somewhere in the middle of those two, but it's really, really important for you to wrap your head around what the worst case scenario is that you could come out of this with and be like, okay, that sucked, but this is better than going to court. And then the best case scenario, because again, if you get your head sort of wrapped around conceptually those polar opposites and you land somewhere in between, hopefully you can still feel good about that resolution. And I would stress to you, you should, because it's better than going to court and better than getting wrapped up in that legal process and then having to undo all of that. So again, stressing here, resolve your dispute or your disagreement at any means necessary instead of going to court. It's never going to be good. It's never going to be cost effective. You're almost never going to get what you want out of that, and neither will they, and they know that. So it's important to also mention here, don't fight things on principle. Trust me, I have been in my own legal situations where I want to fight things on principle. I want to slam someone and throw the book at them because they're just being, to me, so unreasonable and just so wrong that principally I'm upset and I want to fight it. I get that because I've been there, but don't do it. Trust me when I say the principle of the thing is something that in 10 years, when your business is successful and you're kicking ass and you didn't end up in a hole because of a lawsuit that you fought over principle, that principle is going to be something that you look back and go, you know, it was wise that we didn't move forward in that and drain all of our time and energy and money. It was such a dick thing that they did, but it's better than having fought that out because it would have wasted all of our time and money. And so I get it. It is very, very hard to talk someone off of fighting things on principle when they feel so wronged by someone that they just need to stick it to them. But it never serves anyone. It doesn't cause a resolution that is beneficial or quick. So if you can at all avoid getting to the point where a lawsuit is filed, do it. Think of your best case, your worst case you're willing to accept, get comfortable accepting something in between, and hopefully you guys resolve it, no one goes to court, and you just put it behind you and move forward. Lesson learned, better than going to court. Hopefully this is helpful. Sort of a dispute resolution video here. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.